I'm back! Hi everyone, episode 3. Welcome back to Avonlea Watches Way Too Much TV. If you're just joining for the first episode, hi, my name is Avonlea and I watch a lot of TV. Like a lot of TV. A concerning amount, almost, but only almost. Last week I put a poll on my Instagram to ask people what I should rank next for this series because I'm incredibly indecisive and I've watched a lot of TV as I've now already established, so it's kind of hard for me to pick just one thing. But I also recently have been re-inspired in my love for the subgenre of horror that is zombie movies. If you couldn't tell by the title of this video, that's what won the poll. Today, I will be ranking my top 5 favorite zombie movies. There's a couple honorable mentions. Yeah, don't worry also, I will be ranking everything else that was in that poll. Let's rank some zombie flicks, I guess. Cool? Cool. So number 5 on the list is one of the final iterations of the Dead franchise that was established by George A. Romero. Of course, the very first iteration of that franchise being Night of the Living Dead. But this movie, it's very campy. And it knows that it's campy, which I really enjoy. It doesn't take itself too seriously. We have what would be a John Hughes ragtag group of friends if John Hughes was actively doing like acid all the time. Because we have a couple people who are named like Suicide, Trash, and other things. And this group of ragtag individuals was just hanging out in a cemetery because, yeah, all good things happen when you're hanging out in a cemetery and just having a grand old time in there, right, you guys? While their buddy is working next door at this weird medical plant facility that has a whole bunch of corpses. And the guy that's running this little establishment looks at his very new, like, first day employee and is like, do you remember when they were talking about all those people coming back to life from the dead? And that kid is like, I mean, I guess, I think that's kind of a bullshit story. And he's like, it's not bullshit, come with me to the basement. Yeah, because all good things happen when you go into the basement at a weird medical facility. Are you people stupid? But they go down there and there's these weird like tanks, and in the tanks are remains of zombies. One of them explodes and releases this like gas, and of course these two freaks inhale it. Eventually it like reanimates a corpse upstairs. They have to take it to the funeral home next door. They forgot for some reason that whenever you cremate remains, there's a smoke that's put out in the chimney. This smoke goes into the clouds and creates an acid rain type situation. Now, what did I say was next door to this medical facility again? Right, a cemetery. What do you guys think is gonna happen when the acid rain falls on this? Duh, obviously, all of the bodies in the cemetery start crawling up out of their graves. End up with like some crazy half corpse that kind of reminds me of Bite Girl from The Walking Dead. I actually wonder if maybe that's where the influence for Bite Girl came from. And it's literally just her torso. And they like tie it down to an examination table, like an autopsy table, and they're asking it questions because it can talk. Because why couldn't zombies talk? Duh. When they ask it why it like wants to kill people, they like moan and groan and whatever, and she's like, well, it hurts to be dead. And also, just like every other of the Dead iteration, it's some random place in the middle of nowhere. Oh, and at the end of this movie, the military just blows this town up. That's how they handled the situation. They're like, oh, cool. Oh, the zombies escaped from those weird things that we put in a really sketchy medical facility that we probably should have checked before. Right, they got out? Okay, cool. No, we're gonna have it handled. Nuke. Pardon me? That's crazy. Next up on the list is 28 Weeks Later. I like 28 Days Later, okay? I do, but I just prefer the second one. As is usual with zombie movies, it's gory, but like, 28 days later, 28 weeks later, and what I assume 28 years later is going to be like when I eventually go see that in the theaters, is gory, okay? This franchise, the gore factor is nuts. It even made me sick to my stomach, and I'm telling you, I don't get sick like that watching horror movies. Yeah, sick to my stomach, had to pause it a couple times. Finally, we have some kids with some frickin' survival instincts. Every other horror movie, you end up with some kid. Okay, I'm gonna say this quickly. Okay, I actually love kids. I think they're great. However, can't think of anything more stressful than being in an apocalyptic situation and you have a kid that's under the age of 10. They're barely sentient. And now you want them to run away from these weird, like, beings that are running after them and trying to eat their flesh. So of course, with 28 Weeks Later being a sequel, it is a continuation of the story that's established in 28 Days Later, which is a movie with Cillian Murphy, which, hello sailor, okay. The interesting thing about that franchise is there is frankly nothing scarier than a man with just free reign and nobody to hold him accountable. The hubris of humanity truly is on full display in 28 Weeks Later. Also, Idris Elba is in this movie, period. So is Jeremy Renner, period. And the guy that plays Rumpelstiltskin in Once Upon a Time. And just like in Once Upon a Time, he's a coward in this movie too, and he is the downfall of the movie. He's the reason that everything goes awry. It's his fault. Super gory. So if you're not a gore individual, 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later, probably not for you. Number 3, and I can already hear some of you guys bitching and moaning about this one, and I just genuinely don't care. Number 3 is Warm Bodies. Duh! You're gonna look at me, I have a BFA in theater performance, and you're gonna think that I'm not gonna rank a Shakespeare adaptation in this top 5? That's crazy. And I love that you had better expectations of me. You shouldn't. Shout out to Nicholas Hoult. Shout out to Dave Franco. Like, this movie is phenomenal. And I also like that it kind of steals from Dawn of the Dead in the idea that, like, zombies can be rehabilitated. Like, the undead can be reminded of what it is to be human. Because then they just, like, cohabitate. They live together. Kind of takes from this piece of lore from Return of the Living Dead that when zombies eat brains, they're reminded of what it's like to be human. Like in iZombie, the TV show about the medical examiner who turns into a zombie, and so in order to like solve cold cases, she does an autopsy and eats their brain, and then she like sees their past memories. I had an audition for that show one time, and I'm so pissed I didn't book it. I'm so mad. I love that show. The fact that he lives in an airplane. And you know what? This is what Shakespeare did this for. Oh, I'm sorry. The guy that died because he ate too much pickled herring and was just historically a rake, historically causing issues, wrote some bomb plays, historically causing problems. Yeah, you don't think he would find this funny? Let's get serious. I love a Romeo and Juliet adaptation. This is probably my favorite one. Second would be Romeo and Juliet. Thank you so much. Number 2 is another comedy one, and that is Zombieland. I love that there's a narration aspect to it. It's very clear, obviously, that it's a zombie movie because we see zombies in the first 5 minutes, but we don't really see that many zombies in this movie. But I also love Jesse Eisenberg, and I specifically love Jesse Eisenberg in a comedy, so that's awesome. Woody Harrelson, obviously, duh. This movie also, every time I watch it, reminds me of, in college, one of my professors had us do an exercise where we had to think about what actors we admired that had careers that we want. And I brought up Emma Stone because of this movie. Because of this movie and Easy A. Also, shout out to Abigail Breslin, my favorite of the 5 Sauce ex-girlfriend. Don't worry, I'll include a clip.
I just wanted you to know all your bandmates are hotter than you.
I have a deep, deep fear of getting stuck on carnival rides. It is a deep-seated fear. So, number 1, the fact that they got stuck on a carnival ride. Hello, at the very end. And number 2, also, the fact that then they're surrounded by zombies. Further exasperate? Siri, how do you say exasperate?
Which language?
Oh, English?
You can translate it to English.
Not what I asked her to do. I hate technology. It further heightens my anxiety, I guess, because now they're stuck on one of those like drop tower things and there's just like zombies all around them. But don't worry, Jesse Eisenberg is here to help. Alright you guys, before we get into the top 1, what do you think we're doing? If you said honorable mentions, you'd be right. World War Z. Scary! I am well aware, okay, that World War Z is a book adaptation and it's terrible as a book adaptation. Ignore that, alright? and just look at it as a movie, and it's great. The fact that the zombies are so fast, hello, I'm scared. And the fact you can hear them coming because they make clicking sounds, I don't like it. I don't like it. Night of the Comet. This is another cult classic from the 80s. This comet passes over the earth, and most people who are outside to see it when it passes dies, but some other people turn into zombies. That's crazy. Great, you're gonna hear these next two and you're gonna be like, these ain't zombie movies, these aren't zombie. This is my YouTube. And if you have thoughts, you can make your own YouTube video. Don't come for me. Number 1 is Corpse Bride. I understand that Emily is only technically a zombie for like a couple minutes before they go back to the afterlife or whatever. I get it. But she is a corpse bride. That is the name of the movie. And also I just like bringing this movie up at all opportunities that I have. And second is Paranorman. Heaven forbid I bring up Paranorman. Could we technically count Frankenweenie also as a zombie movie? Because he brings his dog back to life. And I guess by extension, does that make Frankenstein a zombie movie? No. I'm not going to do Mary Shelley like that. I love her too much. The Zombies franchise. I had to bring this up for my own personal lore, and very few people will know what lore I'm discussing, but had to bring it up for my own personal lore. And now there's vampires? Dude. Like, whoa. I also had to bring it up because I just feel like Milo Manheim and I would be good friends. Or maybe more. Big fan of singing and dancing zombies. That's good. That's really good. They should have had a musical episode in The Walking Dead. Last, but certainly not least, is one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. My number 1 zombie movie is obviously Train to Busan. The fact that it's set on a train. Scary. Scary. South Korea has its own subgenre of zombie media that if you are a lover of zombie media in the way that I am, you need to really get into that. But their version of the undead is so freaky. First of all, it's like they're constantly fighting rigor mortis, which is horrifying. So they don't just like drag their limbs around like they do in American zombie movies. No, they're like popping and locking, okay? Like they're b-boying it, okay? And also they make like weird clicky sounds. When they finally find out, like, wait, we have to move in the dark. And we have to move silently in the dark. I also, outside of the zombie aspect of this movie, right, the character development is so fire. Like, our main character, he's a present father, but he's emotionally absent. And by the end of it, he's sacrificing his life to save his child, as all parents should do. And also, once again, thank God we have a child with some survival instincts. Holy crap! That little girl should be the baseline for any child that is written into a zombie movie. Because if I get one more little kid that just stands there and then their parent has to be like, move, run, and the kid is just standing there, I'm going to flip out. I've never been in a zombie apocalypse, but as a child, if my mom was yelling at me to run, my legs are moving. So I don't know why these kids are just... I mean, fight or flight is a thing, I guess, but I just can't. I can't handle it. If you like Train to Busan, you would also really enjoy a TV show on Netflix called All of Us Are Dead. It's a K-drama and a zombie drama all at one time. I'm actively waiting for the second season. I fear it's never gonna come out, but currently they're saying it's gonna come out in 2027. The first season came out in 2022. Release the tapes. Also, check out an animated zombie movie also from South Korea called Seoul Nation. Discusses how society treats unhoused people and how in an event like this, our unhoused brothers and sisters would be the first victims for an outbreak like this. Alright, you guys, that was my top 5 ranking of my favorite zombie movies. Honestly, this ranking will probably be different a month from now or 3 months from now because I'm always watching some new zombie movie or some stupid cult classic zombie movie on like Tubi or something. Like, I watched a movie the other week called Zombie Strippers. Like, what? What was that and why was that made? I'll tell you why, because it's camp and it's fire. So anyway, yeah, if you liked this video, give it a like and a comment. If you're not subscribed, hey, why are you not subscribed? Like, I thought we were friends. That's crazy. And also follow me on Letterboxd. I'm a Letterboxd warrior. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.